How's it going, everyone? I'm Dustin with Hard Cruise Racing, and today we're going to talk about a TEMU motorcycle seat. All right. So if you're familiar with the channel, you know that we do educational material specifically based on the ability for you to build your own project. Cool, our projects, are fine to follow along with if that's what you're into, but I go very much in depth and a little bit more into the thought process and things like that of building a project so that way you can build it at home. So today I picked up something off Temu. I picked up two things for our race motorcycle off Temu. We're building a budget flat track motorcycle. So flat track, dirt circle, whatever you want to say. That's what we're building. Okay, there's a race coming up here in like 2 weeks, and if it's done, then we'll go race it, and if it's not, that's fine. But a lot of videos have to do with like converting a 19-inch front to be a rear, so on and so forth. So today we're going to talk about a Temu seat. I ordered a part off Temu. I actually ordered two parts off Temu, and I'll talk about both of them today. The one is the seat, and the other ones are these grips. Okay. Now, again, we focus on budget racing. I just like to go out and have fun and make it accessible for everyone. So that's what we're doing today. This is a 1983 Suzuki GS 550. I think is GX 550. I don't know, guys. I'm not necessarily a Suzuki person. I like to just buy bikes, build them, and have fun. Is what it is, right? So today I bought this seat. Well, I didn't buy the seat today. Bought the seat a couple weeks ago. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I bought this seat, and I bought those grips about the same. Man, I got grease all over my face already. Anyways, I bought that seat and I bought those grips a few weeks ago. The grips show up relatively quick because they are flown. Okay, the seat took a long time because of the size of the package. It claims that it needs to be sent freight or it needs to be sent by ship. So it took me multiple weeks to get that seat in. Keep that in mind if you're building a cool project. I like to get parts quick. I do things on a spur of the moment feeling, and I don't like to wait for stuff. But I had to wait for this seat for a while. So in this packaging, you get this seat. This is a plastic bottom with bolts. It's not bad. It's not great. Whatever. All right. When we're talking about something that we're building custom, I'm not a huge fan of this because I would prefer to just be able to weld it straight to the bike. But this is what we got. We also got brackets. I'll open those in a second. I haven't even opened and looked at them yet. Hopefully the brackets are easy to work with and we can get this thing mounted up. So I'll show you what comes in the bag. Yeah. While I've already opened it, you can essentially call this an unboxing. I literally opened it 35 seconds before I started the video, and I was like, wow, that was stupid. Let me start a video. Comes in this bag, and then everything's wrapped in a lot of foam, which is great, okay? Except the seat comes in that bag, and you pull that seat out, and then you're like, well, how the heck do I mount it? And then you got to dig through those wrapped foam pieces until you find this little wrapped foam piece, which is going to have your brackets and your paper. Looking at the paper, I ain't even looked at it. Let's open it up. I'm a little sniffly today. Been out digging and moving weeds. Made in China, blah de blah. Not English, not English, not English, not English. Did I miss the English portion? I guess this is the same as that, maybe? Okay, we'll just go with this. I don't know. You can read it yourself. Complies with FCC rules. Following two conditions. May not cause harmful interference. So it's just saying that it's relatively certified to some sort of a standard. I don't really care about because... I mean, we probably should care about standards, but I don't. Let me open this up. It's gonna be, well, yeah, let me open that. Alright, so that's there. You got 3 brackets. They're not terrible. I mean, they definitely could be worse. The big thing that adds a support to a bracket like this is these little punches. If you just bend it over, then you can essentially continue to bend it. If you ever want to make a bracket stronger, get a punch, put those 2 punch holes in there. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how much that little adds. And these little bolts. My curiosity is simple. Do all these bolts thread? They do. They thread easy. I think you should have locking washers on these, or put Loctite on them if you're going to put them on with no intentions to remove them. Come on. Don't. Oh, there we go. The reason I always check threads like this is because in a lot of cases, a cheap thread won't thread properly or get started to thread, okay? Once it's started, you can assume it's going to go all the way down. I'm also putting these on there because I will lose them. I work on a lot of things at once. My tractor and this motorcycle and a bunch of other things. And I just tend to lose things. So those threaded on relatively easy. I was hoping it was going to be a plastic back so I could paint it. It's not. It's kind of frustrating. It's whatever. I could still paint the leather. Well, pleather. It's plastic. I still could paint it to match the rest of the paint I'm going to do on the bike. We'll think about it. So, easiest way to ever mount something, if you're unsure, just take these off. Put that bracket on there like it's supposed to be. They got adjustability. See that front to back adjustability? Okay. Get all your brackets on and then put the seat on the bike. Kind of where you want it. Have the tank on it. My tank is over there right now. I'm painting it in the middle of making that video. So I'll need to get the tank on the bike. And then kind of put it where you want it so you can eyeball it. That bracket is falling in right there. You can see. I could remove this, which will tilt my seat back. Kind of just had it there for the wheel. But I could remove that or slide it down. And then we can go from there to mount it. Now you have two holes there. It's probably so you can... Well, I would originally say it's so you can bolt it, but I'm going to be honest. That one also has two holes, so I might just zip tie this thing on there. I don't recommend following what I do necessarily. Again, I'm just going to do whatever I'm going to do. I'm going to zip tie it on there. I'm going to go have fun and race it, and if it falls off, it falls off. The big thing with seats, so on my chopper I used to have, my seat wasn't even bolted on. Like, I could lift it and pull it right off. The big thing with seats is... you really just need to stay there until you get on the bike. Once you get on the bike, you're not moving. Something like this, where the beach bracket will go in the inside of that frame, means it can't go left to right as long as them bolts don't break. So I'll do something stupid like zip tie it and be fine with it. So, do I think this Temu seat was worth it? Well, let me look how much I paid for it real quick. Alright, so I looked it up. I paid 20 bucks for this seat. You can't beat 20 bucks for a seat. I mean, that's where my brain's at. Any seat that is going to go on there, you can't beat 20 bucks for. I used to own a custom upholstery shop. I couldn't buy the foam in that seat for 20 bucks. I mean, no, you really couldn't, because you got to buy a block of solid high-density foam. And I couldn't do it for 20 bucks. So, here's what I'm going to say. 20 bucks? Absolutely. I think I paid like $4 to $5 for those. I mean, we'll go through these too. They don't slide off. When you first slipped them on, they kind of were slippy. A little bit if you like really pulled it. Once I left them on for a day, they're set. You can see they still kind of rotate a little bit. This one does. This one was harder to get on for my throttle. I don't think that one's coming off. I had to pain in the butt to get that on. Honestly, if you're worried about it, slide it off a little bit, put a little glue in there, and slide it back on. I also know where a lot of people who race will take wire, like a twisty wire, and then they will put a wire twisty in there. See right there? And it'll give something to crank down on it so it doesn't come off. General riding issues, you're not going to have them like this. These that were the old ones that were still on there were way easier to slip on and off than these new ones were. So again, you're grabbing this, you're gripping it. If I grip it, I can't twist it. So over time, I think it's just going to get better and better. So I'm not worried about it. Seat, again, worth it. A lot of issues. A lot of people claim the issue with Temu and these sites like AliBaba and the other ones that are shipping from China. They're like low quality, blah, 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 blah. Honestly, in all honesty, it's just like the Harbor Freight argument. I could buy, I don't know, 10 of these seats before I reach the price of a quality seat. Will I break this seat 10 times? Or when I break the seat, will it be such an issue that I'm worried about it? I don't think so. Okay, if I want to, I could go through and press on these bolts. I mean, I'm putting force behind it. It's not breaking. So essentially, I'm not worried about it. But that's the way I always think about it. You know, just like the Harbor Freight thing. Yeah, I could get a tool off the tool truck from Snap-on, but if If I break that tool, I have to wait a week for the Snap-on truck to come back to get a new one. If I call him in time to get a new one ordered first, otherwise it might be 2 weeks, and I'm going to spend 10 times the price for that tool and then have to wait for it. Where if I go buy a Harbor Freight tool, if it breaks, I say, okay, let me go on lunch, let me drive down the road for 15 minutes and go pick up a new tool. I've broke plenty of Harbor Freight tools, but I'm happy buying 5 or 6 of them before I reach the price of going and buying a different brand. That's just the reality of it. Everything's not that way, but some things are. And this seat, I think, falls within that. It's decent quality. I don't see any like outlying issues where I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe it's that way. Upholstery wise, it's not wrapped well, it's not wrapped tight, but it'll be fine, especially for something like this that we're going to race. I'm not worried about it, honestly. I think I'm gonna zip tie that seat on there. Well, here's what's gonna happen next, and this is just if you're gonna buy something like this. I'm gonna mount my tank on there and see where my tank sits. I'm gonna mount this here on here and see where this sits, because right now I have the ability to slide it forward and back. I have the ability to take this, it was like technically the inner wheel well, but I'm using that as essentially my mud fender. I mean, I'm going to race it on mud, so I need a fender back there, but I just have it zip tied on right now and just in place. I could move that if I need to. I could move it up and down. I'm going to figure out where is the most comfortable spot for me to sit on this bike, because when I get on this bike, it's all about racing. So, I just wanted a seat where I had some sort of a backrest and some sort of adjustability, so as I come into a turn, I can lean, tilt, and go for it. So that's my plan moving forward. Again, I'm going to zip tie this seat on there. And I know that's not everyone's option, and I know some people are going to be like, I can't believe you're going to do that, but I am. Okay? I am. Because in racing, it's easier for me, say this rear fender, come up here and snip that zip tie to move the fender if I need to, and if it breaks, if something happens, you come in here with a drill, you drill another hole, and you throw another zip tie on there. So, I might put 2 zip ties on each side or something like that to be a little more supportive, but at the end of the day, I don't need the seat to be on heavily, and if I need to work on the bike, it's easier for me to grab the wire cutters, come up here and go snip, 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 take the seat off. So, that's where we're at. I think Temu is a good option. I think, you're not going to get the highest quality parts, but I think most of us don't need the highest quality part. I don't need an expensive race seat that I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars on a bike that was a free motorcycle that I traded some stuff I had for anyways, that I'm just going to go crash and beat up, and it's probably not going to last a year anyways, right? So, be realistic when you're buying stuff. I think it's not a bad seat for the price. I think it'll be fine. That's my opinion. Again, our channel is focused on budget, having fun builds. Okay, I don't mind taking something like a free beat-up bike, chopping it up, welding it back together, going out and having fun with it, and if you crash it or you bottom it out, you're like, oh no, just name it right, my $1,000 bike is now junk. And you're like, well, at least I didn't spend 50 grand on a Harley and then do the same thing. I would rather drive 50 beater bikes instead of a $50,000 Harley every day of the week. More realistically, I'd rather ride 10 $2,500 bikes than whatever. You get my point. Get out there, build cool things. Most importantly, have fun. If you have questions, leave them below. Have fun and have a good day.